Hello! Now it's the middle of April now, and now is the perfect time to start sowing your beetroot. Now there are all sorts of different varieties out there for you to choose, and it's entirely up to you whether you want long ones, round ones, whether you want the purpley reddy ones, whether you want lighter pink ones, whether you want yellow ones, or whether you want ones that when you cut them you get concentric circles of a pink, white, pink, white. It's entirely up to you. Now I've got 3 different varieties here. I've got the good old Boltardi, which are really nice, good, round, deep sort of reddy, nearly purpley beetroot. I've got golden beetroot as well, again, which are round, but they are sort of an orangey, a light orangey colour, the colour, they're lovely. And I've also got a packet of seeds here, beetroot seeds, and they're called multicoloured. So they're carefully selected blend of 4 different multi-gem varieties to bring extra colour and taste to the summer salads. So they vary. So there's an awful lot of different ones in there, 4 different ones in there. So we could have some long ones, we could have some round ones, so that's really exciting. But whatever varieties you have, they need to be sown in exactly the same way. So let me show you how I sow mine. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I've done a line here. If you want to have a piece of string and you do your line that way, it's entirely up to you, whichever way works best for you. And then you need to make sure that you, what is that? Oh God, let's try that again. Right, now what I have done here is I've done a little line in the soil. If you want to put down a line and you don't trust yourself to get a nice straight line, then always put that down. Now the first thing you need to do is you just need to weed the area and make sure that it's weed free. And just if the soil is a little bit, nothing's been in there obviously all sort of winter, is just turn it over just a little bit like this so that you can loosen up the soil, which is very, very important to do. Then the roots of the beetroot can get down into the soil. You need to make a little trough, so using a trowel just scoop a little bit of the soil out. Now you want this trough to be about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch deep. So we'll just scooch it like that. There we go. Now, before we sow the seeds, what we need to do is we need to water in that trough. Okay, I'm just going to do half of this because I've got the other half to do. But if I show you 1/2, then once I've finished telling you what to do, then I will do the other half. So wait for that water to go down. Now the water does 2 things. First of all, it will actually level out the soil, and secondly, what it will do is it will help the seeds stick to the soil when the seeds go on, and also they'll be directly in contact with some water, and then they can start germinating just a little bit sooner. So I'm going to mix all of these seeds up. I'm not going to be very specific and have, you know, 1 row of each one. I'm going to do a few of each, I think, because it's a bit more interesting that way. So just shake them out into your hand. I'll most probably end up with 2 lines of beetroot anyway, but let's just have a quick look at these beetroot seeds. Now, most beetroot seeds, in fact all beetroot seeds, are very, very similar. They're quite knobbly, I think is the word to use. And they're usually this sort of colour, beige. Sometimes they might be slightly lighter in colour and sometimes they might be slightly darker, but basically they all look like this. So what I'm going to do now is between my thumb and my finger, I'm going to take a pinch and I'm just going to move my thumb and my finger back and forth and just drop the seeds in the soil. If you get a couple together or 3 together, that's absolutely fine. Usually you find that they do tend to grow in clumps, and they're quite happy to grow in clumps. So I will just sprinkle those on. I think I'm going to open the packet of multicoloured now and sprinkle some of those on. Now sometimes you can buy these on a tape, and the tape has a couple of little seeds embedded in it, and you will have to actually sow those a slightly different way, but the instructions are on the packet. So I've only once have I grown from a tape, and they seem to do quite well. It just means that they're actually positioned exactly, but I'm not one for doing exactly. So I'll just show you these ones, and then once I've shown you these, then I will carry on and do the rest. So once you've sown your seeds, then all you need to do is to just gently push that soil back over the seeds, just to cover them, just level it off, just like that. So right, I will carry on and I will finish this line, and once I have finished sowing all the seeds that I want, then I will come back and show you. Okay, so I have sown all my beetroot seeds. I've actually done 2 rows. Now if you're doing more than 1 row, what I would suggest is that you leave about 9 inches between each row. That way they've got enough space to swell and to grow and expand, and also you can actually get down between the rows and weed. Now these should start to come through in a couple of weeks, and you'll know that they're beetroot because the main stem will either be yellow or sort of a pinky colour. But if you're unsure, then just leave them until they get a little bit bigger, and then you know that they're beetroots and they're not weeds. It's very important to try and keep all of your anything that is growing as weed free as possible, because the weeds will grow much quicker, and if they take over, then your plants won't grow. Well, I hope you are growing beetroot this year, whatever variety. I hope you really enjoy them. Well, I hope you found what I've shown you useful, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.